What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's Fresh Build Friday. That's right, it's that time of the week again where we get you ready for the weekend with a brand new coil build. So you guys know me, I like to experiment when it comes to my coils, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I have never seen anything like this before. I have never seen anyone try this, and I'm hoping it's a world's first. So with that, today we're going to be using some Vandy Vape mesh wire. This is the Canthal variant of the mesh wire, but if you have some mesh wire hanging around, I'm sure you can use that as well. And with that, we're going to be trying something really off the wall this time, guys. So make sure you stay tuned and pay attention because this is going to be a fun one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab our mod, our wick, our addy, our wire, our juice, all that good stuff. Let's go down to the close-up view and build it up. Alright guys, so today we're meshing around once again with this mesh wire from Vandy Vape. So a couple of you said you were wanting to see a mesh coil, not just, you know, the mesh arch like in the mesh RDA video that I did. You guys want to see me build a coil with mesh. So that's actually what I'm going to be doing today. And I have an idea in my head, but, you know, it's one of those things where it sounds good on paper, but you never know if it's actually going to come to fruition. So let's just try it out, I guess. I mean, what better way is there? I've got about a foot or so of this mesh wire, and what I'm thinking is basically just fold it in half, and if I can, maybe I have to fold it again. So let's just try it out.
One eternity later.
Well, that took forever, but we made it there in the long run. So here we have the double folded mesh wire. I don't know what you even want to call it. Whatever. Yeah, we have some double folded mesh wire here, and that's actually what we're going to be using for today's coil. And let's just go ahead and wrap one of these bad boys up. I've got the 3mm jig, and we're just going to make a coil. And by coil, you know, probably going to do only about 4 wraps. One thing that I would say with this stuff here is be careful around vape mats and the like, because it likes to grip on. So, and if you end up ripping one of those little fibers out, it can be a bitch. So just be careful, and, you know, make sure you got plenty of clearance when you're wrapping your coils and when you're working with this stuff, because it likes to grip onto clothing and vape mats and, you know, any fabric that gets in the way. So here we go. Boom, there we go. I got Old Faithful cutters out there, and there is our coil. An interesting looking coil to say the least, and I'm gonna have a hard time getting it into our RDA today, which is this one right here. I believe it's called the Amphisbaena, something like that. I believe it's a part of Greek mythology. It's a 2-headed snake, blah blah blah. Not quite sure, haven't really done much other than just Googling the name, so there we go. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one, because I'm not sure how exactly we're going to do this here. Maybe it's got this like kind of clamp system. I don't even know if we're going to be able to do a dual coil, because this stuff it's probably pretty low resistance, you know. I mean, you got 4 layers of mesh wire in here, so I don't know. Let's see. I think it's way too wide for that. This is where the goon would come in handy. Might be able to sneak it in on this side here. Oh, we have some progress. There we go. One side, just squeezing it right by that screw there. Can't guarantee anything for this side. Might have to actually just like trim it or something. Probably just going to be doing a single coil today because I can't really see doing a dual coil with this stuff. It's just too crazy. Perhaps maybe on a future episode of Fresh Build Friday where we build on the goon or something a little bit more practical, but let's just see. Let's just trim this at a slight angle so we can get it started perhaps. And also, just, you know, obviously caution with this stuff because all these little tiny, tiny, tiny wires can stick into your fingers and, you know, they're not fun. So just be really careful when you're trying to do this one. All right, let's pull on this side, pull on this side. Let's even her up. There we go. Look at that. We did it. We have made ourselves a mesh coil. And I'm still kind of... blown away by that. So let's just tighten this down good and tight. Same thing with this side. Leave a little bit of room there. There we go. Yeah, it's technically a coil. I keep having to trim off these little escapees here, these little pieces of wire that like to run away. So, you know what? Before I do anything, let's just turn this thing on and see where this coil's at as far as our resistance. Oh, okay, 0.35 ohms. That's actually a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot lower resistance. So, oh, man, I don't know. Let me check the cap clearance off camera real quick, and we'll see if we can go for a dual coil. So I think I'm going to just play it safe and leave it as a single coil. I just checked the cap clearance and it does fit over, but just barely. So I don't know. I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with a single coil for right now. However, I will have to revisit this one. I'm telling you guys right now that I'm definitely going to be coming back and doing this one again because I think it's a really cool concept. But anyways, let's carry on with the build here. Let's just fire up these coils. See, wow. You know what? I gotta say, that is pretty darn even right away. I'm stunned right now. I really don't know what to say. I haven't even touched it with the ceramic tweezers at all, and already it's lighting up evenly from the inside out. Now, as far as the, you know, workability when it comes to tuning these coils, yeah, it's pretty much none. So I think the best bet is just to kind of make sure it stays round and just kind of hit it with a low heat. Just make sure it's, you know, firing up from the middle out and you're not getting those random little tiny hot spots in there. So just kind of nudge it here and there. And let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. That little tiny hot spot. And then all of a sudden it glows beautifully. All right, well, yeah, that looks like all I have to do to tune it up is just heat the coils up. So I think we're good there. Let's just go ahead and wick it. All right, guys, so it's the moment we've all been waiting for. The big question is, does it vape? Well, I've got it on the Wismec Gen 3 right now at 53 watts. Let's just go ahead and fire it up. We have vapor, looking pretty good. I don't see any random hot spots or anything, but it does look like it's going to be a bit spitty. So I don't know. I mean, let's just go ahead and throw the top cap back on, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the build. Now let's talk about the coil that we just put in this Amphisbena RDA. And let me just start off by saying that already I want to revisit this coil. I know I'm going to be coming back to this one at some point in time because I really want to do it in a dual coil configuration. I can fit it in this particular RDA, but the screws are already kind of leaning, so I really didn't want to mess this thing up before I get the chance to review it. So I'm going to be trying it on something like the Goon, and we'll be back on this one in no time. So with that, of course, I'm looking for feedback from you guys out there. So if you guys decide to try this thing at home, then make sure you get back to me on what you did as far as your technique and what I could do better or whatever. So with that, yeah, let's just start off with the categories. First being the heat. The heat factor on this one is pretty low considering right now I've got it at 69 watts or 4.9 volts, which is a little bit up there, but our resistance remained constant at a 0.35 ohm, which is nice. It's good for, you know, a single battery mod if you only have a single battery, or if you have a dual or triple battery, of course, then your batteries are going to last even longer. So with that, yeah, the heat factor on this one is nice and warm. It's not too hot, it's not too cool, and even with both airflow sections wide open, because this is only a dual coil RDA, even with both air sections wide open, it's pretty decent. So yeah, that's pretty good for me. Let's move on to the next category, which is of course the ramp up and ramp down time. Ramp up time, being at 69 watts as I am right now, is pretty short. It's about maybe a quarter second before it really gets going, and you could get a good full lung inhale with this one and get a decent vapor production out of it as well. So let's go ahead and take a drag off of this thing and we'll check out the ramp down time. So the ramp down time is a little bit longer than I expected. It's about 6 seconds overall, but I get about a 3-second hot sizzle kind of sound, and then it just kind of tapers off into nothing. So ramp down time on this one isn't too bad considering there's 4 layers of mesh wire in each individual wrap on the coils. So not as bad as I would have expected. You know, with this thing here, I expected the coil itself to hold a lot of that heat in, but in actuality, it's kind of dissipating rather quickly, but that can also be due to the airflow as well. So yeah, there we go. The ramp down time, not too bad considering, and I think it's pretty good for me. For my third category, which is the difficulty of this build, this one was a bit tricky. I will say that right now. Using the technique, that folding technique, it really started to kill my fingers after a while, and my palms started getting really sweaty and it was hard to really manage that wire. But after I got it built, after I got the actual wire part done, it was a breeze after that, I gotta say. Even installing the coil wasn't that difficult. So I would really recommend you guys try this one out if you have something that can handle a nice wide piece of wire. Like, honestly, I feel like the Goon or the Icon RDA would be a dream to build on with this particular build here. And that might be the next RDA that I try it out with. So with that, yeah, it's not too bad after you get over that initial kind of hump of building that wire itself. But as of right now, my fingerprints are kind of worn down to nothing. And my fourth and final category, which is the flavor on this build. Today I've got some of this Blue Bunny by my friends over at Holy Cow E-Liquid. This is their newest and latest and greatest, and I absolutely love their Pink Bunny, which is a strawberry milk. Well, this one, as you might have guessed, is a blueberry milk. So I was a little bit worried trying this particular flavor on this particular build just because, you know, I just really feel like heat tends to kill off a lot of the desserty sort of flavors or the cream kind of notes, but I'm getting a full flavor out of this one. On the inhale, it's definitely that nice summery kind of blueberry flavor, very in-your-face, intense, and then as you kind of work your way through the hit, as you kind of inhale and exhale, you get that cream kind of note, and it's very, very smooth on the exhale with a lingering taste of a fresh blueberry. So very happy with the flavor on this one. Really, I can't say enough how good the flavor is. Quite surprised for a Kanthal build. Normally my go-to for flavor is Nichrome 80, but with this one here, it's all Kanthal, and I'm definitely loving it. I'd really like to get my hands on some of the Nichrome 80 mesh wire because I really feel like that stuff would go really good in this build, especially with this flavor. I think it would bring it out even more and just make it that much more intense and kind of in your face. But overall, very satisfied with the flavor on this one. I definitely recommend you flavor junkies try it out. So as a final little footnote here, I just want to go on record and say that I want to call this one the Kevlar Coil because as I was folding those layers of mesh over and just kind of like really packing it in there together with the pliers, it felt like I was almost almost building a bulletproof vest of some sort. So that's kind of why I really wanted to call that the Kevlar coil, and that's exactly what I was thinking. That was going through my head as I was working on that wire. So yeah, I think this one's going to be called the Kevlar coil, or Kevlar wire, if you will. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click the notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Big shout out to you guys in the notification squad. Of course, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your questions, comments, concerns about this particular coil. Anything you guys want to know about building the Kevlar coil, I am all ears, and I'd love to help you out. And don't forget to also check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!